Ever wondered how tattooing or laser removal works? In the past, tattoos were mainly presented as traditional cultural markings or synonymous with those of a dangerous and rebellious nature. But nowadays in the media, tattoos are a widespread trend and cultural fad. Especially within Western societies, they're far more accepted than they once were. Due to popular demand and the advancements in technology, both the instruments and methods used to tattoo have progressed over time, making them highly accessible.
This is a traditional coil machine, so what you've got is a couple of coils here. As the electricity comes through, they create a magnet which pulls down the top bar, and then that creates a circuit, breaks a circuit, and then repeats over and over again quite fast. This is a rotary machine. It's a lot lighter, it's a lot quieter, and basically there's a rotary motor inside the machine which is giving the up-down motion. It definitely causes less trauma to the skin, has less vibration, and is most definitely a superior machine. There's heaps of different machines, there's heaps of different ways to tattoo. No one way is the correct way.
Let's debunk how it actually all works. Under the skin. Our skin is made up of layers. The epidermis, the dermis, and a bottom fat layer. The needle needs to penetrate the skin through the epidermis and inject ink into the dermis layer. When the needle pierces the skin and the foreign ink substance is released, it alerts our body to begin the inflammatory process by calling immune cells to the wound site to begin trying to repair the skin. Cells called macrophages eat the ink in an attempt to clean up the inflammatory mess. As these cells travel through the lymphatic system, some of them are carried back full of dye into the lymph nodes, while others remain in the dermis unable to travel or dispose of the pigment inside of them. These cells that remain stuck in the dermis are what makes tattoos visible through the skin and permanent. Some of the ink particles untouched by the macrophages are engulfed by dermal cells instead and are known as fibroblasts. The dermal cells stay in the dermis layer until they slowly die and are replaced by younger cells. This process is extremely slow, which is why our tattoos fade, but are still there for a lifetime. The laser is used to penetrate the epidermis and blast apart underlying pigment colours of various wavelengths. The laser beam breaks the ink globules into smaller pieces that can be cleared away by the macrophages. Some colour inks are harder to remove than others, and there are a lot of variables that can make it easier or harder for a tattoo to be lasered.
Basically, we're penetrating to that second layer of skin and we're heating it up. It's a thermal effect, so it's kind of like a second-degree burn. Don't let that freak you out.
Removing a tattoo is still harder than getting one, but not as impossible as it once was. Maybe in future we'll have invented an ink that completely dissolves after our desired number of years, or perhaps we have a painless, fully effective laser removal method, meaning tattoos won't have to be forever, but for most of us, we should still consider it as a big decision. And now, we know exactly what's involved.